monorail, you'll have peace and that you are helping to create a better America.
Hello, we are just about ready to start of the Bruce Hooley Show. A little frazzled on my prep today. There's the before. So we hear the band playing, and we're just about underway. Thanks for joining us. Had a great weekend. Well, do we have a lot of things breaking as we begin a new week of Bruce Hooley Shows here on 98.9. Sir, over the weekend, a lot going on. Friday night, horrible plane crash and the Trump administration never slows down. We promise to institute tariffs on Canada, Mexico. Trump campaigned on that, got elected despite the screaming of Democrats would be a tax on Americans. Never mind the 25 that the Biden administration levied with inflation and the fall in real wages. But as the 45th and now 47th president promised, he is making good on his promises, not just to support illegals and not just to get tough on the border, but this is that he made actually a long time ago and that he is most definitely keeping. Yes, you may even get tired of winning. This, despite the hue and cry over the weekend from in Canada about the 25% tariffs that Donald Trump levied on their exports to America. We have, in the last, gotten word from Claudia Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico. First, let me tell you what Claudia said over the weekend when the tariffs were announced. If the U.S. wants to address the serious consumption of fentanyl, they could sale of narcotics on the streets of their main cities, which they do not. Problems are not resolved by imposing tariffs, but by talking and dialoguing. This morning, Claudia Sheinbaum announced that Mexico has 10,000 troops to the southern border to police the southern border. Exactly why Donald Trump said he was going to impose a 25% tariff, because they weren't doing enough to police their southern border. And so Trump has promised, in the wake of this concession from Claudia Sheinbaum, the previously woke and big Mexican president, Donald Trump has announced that he will now pause his tariffs on Mexico for 30 to see how things work out on the southern border, if indeed they do send the Fed to police the border and keep the Chinese fentanyl out and to get the drug cartels under control. Now, what about the 25% Canada? Well, Justin Trudeau, Canadian Prime Minister, also talking big over the weekend, talking about how much this proposed tariff on Canada was going to really, really hurt the American economy. You know, there'll be, quote, real consequences for that. Who Trump is already forced to resign at the end of March, Justin Trudeau call with Donald Trump this morning, and they are scheduled to also talk later in the day. So it would not surprise me in the least if Canada also does what Trump said they had to do in order to avoid the tariff. So Donald, when he said that we would be winning and that we would be winning and winning and winning and winning, we would eventually get tired of winning, which, you know, I'm open to perhaps the tedium of constant winning. But I am not there yet, because also again, besides Mexico, besides there's going to be a cave-in by Canada, we had the Panamanian president after meeting with Marco Rubio. Panamanian President Jose Raul Molino said yesterday afternoon that country will be withdrawing from its agreement with on China's Belts and Roads Initiative. China has gone to countries all and has promised to come in and invest heavily infrastructure, belts, roads, build coal-fired power plants and the like in Africa, all over the world, right? And in Panama. And Trump harped on the fact that he doesn't like it, that the Panama Canal, first of all, was stupidly given to Panama by Jimmy Carter, but that 2 Chinese companies run the Panama Canal. Not true, said Panama. No, we don't know. We run the Panama Canal. Well, that's interesting, because over the weekend, Sunday, Jose Raul Molino said that not only will Panama withdraw 2017 agreement with China on being a part of China's Belt and Roads Initiative, but that it will work to get out of the agreement as soon as possible, that it will take a hard look at the 2 Chinese companies who have all of the western and eastern edges of the Panama Canal. Here is the translation from Panamanian President Jose Raul Molino. One important decision I made and communicated to Secretary Rubio is that the 2017 memorandum on the Silk Road, part of the Belt and Road Initiative, will not be renewed by my government. That is a fact. We are going to study the possibility of whether it could be ended earlier. I think it is up for renewal in 1 or 2 years because it is in every agreement. So that initiative, which was signed, will not be renewed by my government. Yeah, we can. We can take more winning. So this is hilarious. And wait till I tell you what the Democratic National Committee is up to. Probably get to that around 11:35 today, because the Democratic National Committee, in the wake of getting its head handed to it in the election, has marshaled its forces and agreed upon new leadership. And well, there's just too much good stuff there to the end of the opening segment of the show, because we have our homegrown vice president to the state of Ohio today. That's right, J.D. Vance will be in East Palestine, Ohio, second anniversary of the fiery Norfolk Southern train derailment in East Palestine. It was 2 years ago on a February Saturday, 2020, that the Norfolk Southern train derailed and because of a ball bearing in one of the boxcars. And it had, I think, 5 cars full of vinyl chloride, highly flammable, and so they were very nervous about it igniting. The state of Ohio, the EPA, the feds, the Biden administration, they all and they decided, I know what we'll do. Since it's highly flammable, let's light it on fire. And so they did. Oh, wait, Bruce, it was a controlled. Did you see the plume of smoke? I don't think it was controlled. And now we have, on the 2-year anniversary, the first lawsuits filed alleging that people have died of that East Palestine train derailment. It is the first of 7 wrongful death claims against Norfolk Southern, including the death of a 1-week-old baby. And the lawsuit is that the railroad, its contractors, and Ohio officials botched the cleanup. They also roped the EPA and the Center for Disease Control and in on this, because they say that in actuality, TSB, which by the way has its hands full these days with the Washington helicopter crash and the Philadelphia medical jet going down on Friday night in Houston, catching fire on the runway over the weekend. The NTSB came in after the steam train derailment and said, actually, the temperature train cars, the materials in the train cars, was diminishing, and that it really wasn't in any danger of exploding. But the state of Ohio, the Center for Disease Control, whatever it was, all the other federal agencies in there decided that they would light it on fire and set off a catastrophic explosion. And who knows what that did to the air in East Palestine. We already have evidence of the fact that a lot of those toxic chemicals got into the water supply. And So who knows where this will go? We've already had a, what was it, $200 million? $600 million. $600 million class action lawsuit, one of the largest in history. And these lawsuits are going to go on and on and on and on. Here was, and we said this from the very beginning, how can you assess the long-term damage from a catastrophic event like that in a short period of time? You absolutely positively cannot. You don't have any idea, right? So JD Vance is here today. JD Vance was, it's hard to believe, JD Vance, a new senator when the train derailed in East Ohio. He did phenomenal work there, endeared himself to the people. Of course, you can underplay the train derailment in East Palestine. That was kind of a jumping off point, a kickoff point, a jump start to Donald Trump regaining the. Trump went in there before Biden ever got there, and he showed himself to be a man of the working.
Clouds and breezy just high today at 62, cloudy tonight, below 32. A little bit cooler tomorrow, sunny clouds, high 42, and then some sleet, freezing rain on Wednesday morning. Changing over to all rain for the afternoon.
Okay.
You see the Browns news?
No.
Miles Garrett requests a trade.
Thursday morning. Clouds to give way to
Well,
sun for the afternoon.
Trade him, Ward, Batonio, get Barry and Stefanski out of there. And
Dump them all.
Let's rebuild this baby.
Wow.
Attention American homeowners, you're under attack. Your home and equity could be vulnerable to cyber thieves. There's only one company that completely stops them, and that company is Equity Protect. Equity Protect.
All right, what do I have here in the old sound machine?
Equity and ownership 24/7. Get your free risk report today by texting the word home to 94878. That's right, text the word home to 94878 to get your free risk report. Keep your equity and legacy safe with Equity Protect.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available to give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-TERM-LIFE. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-TERM-LIFE. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-TERM-LIFE. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-TERM-LIFE. That's 800-TERM-LIFE.
While Dennis Prager is recuperating, we know you miss your daily dose of Dennis. That's why Pragertopia is giving you a special gift. Right now, Pragertopia members can hear the best 2 hours of Dennis's favorite segments from as far back as 2010. On Monday, you can hear the Happiness Hour.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what I'm about.
Tuesday is Celebrity Guest Day.
Donald Trump Jr. is in studio with me.
On Wednesday, it's the Male-Female Hour.
I really do wish there were a way to ascertain the number of marriages that this hour has helped.
Thursday, the Ultimate Issues Hour.
Not having ultimate issues of clarity is like having a map, but you don't know where you're going.
And Friday is Open Lines.
Feel free to ask me anything about me, about you about life.
So if you're missing your daily dose of Dennis, go to PragerTopia.com and hear all your favorite segments, along with lectures, celebrity interviews, his famous Torah teachings, and more. Get your daily dose of Dennis at PragerTopia.com. PragerTopia.com.
My Pillow is not messing around. They are offering you multiple opportunities to save big time money. The first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, you can save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Still going to be some cold days, and hey, break them out of the package, use them a week or two, and then they'll be ready and they'll be like new again next year when winter comes around. Queen size only $59.98, king size set only $69.98. They're going to sell out really fast. So I'd jump on it if I were you. Also, the newest item from My Pillow, the My Cross. Mike Lindell wears it every day. Special styles for women and for men. They are 30% off. You can get a 6-piece towel set. Absorbent cotton, not the kind that just smears the water all over you, but actually absorbs it, for $29.98. And the standard My Pillow is just $14.98. Take advantage of the low prices at My Pillow by using my promo code Bruce. MyPillow.com, promo code Bruce. Elon Musk, richest man in the world, smartest man in the world, quite possibly, and a big, big advocate of Donald Trump and his cost-cutting measures, and that is why Elon Musk is the head of the Department of Government Efficiency. And Elon Musk took to his platform X over the weekend to update Americans. If there's one thing that's come through early on here in the Trump administration, I mean, besides the winning, and if you missed the top of the show, Mexico, after loudly protesting the announced 25% Trump tariff that was to go into effect on imports from Mexico, Mexico President Claudia Sheinbaum caved and now says she will send 10,000 Mexican troops to the border to do exactly what Trump said needed to be done in order to pause the tariff that he intended to impose on Mexico. So the 25% tariff on Mexico has been paused for 30 days because Mexico is doing what Trump demanded they do. Trump's made a lot of noise about Panama. Doesn't like how the Canal is run, doesn't like China's playing footsie with Panama. Panamanian president over the weekend said, yeah, we're getting out of that China Belt and Roads Initiative. We'll get out of it as fast as we can. We got a couple of years to run on it, but we're going to get out of it as fast as we can. So there's more winning. Colombia, of course, not going to take a flight or two. No military flights allowed in here because it's inhumane to send criminals back to Colombia after they've been deported from the United States. We're not taking those flights. And Trump's like, okay, great. We'll deport all your diplomats and we'll put a big tariff on you and we'll freeze all your banking assets. And then the Colombian president is like, actually, I have a plane here that I'll send to get the illegals. So the winning, of course, is a big thing. But how about the transparency, right? How about the transparency? Like on the train derailment in East Palestine, where J.D. Vance will be today. Remember how hard it was to get any answers out of the feds? And J.D. Vance had to go out to the creek and like show a video of, look at that, there's like gas in the water. Like you can tell, it's like that little rainbow bubbly thing that you wouldn't want to drink in a million years. J.D. Vance had to do that on his own. The EPA, nobody from the feds would say a word. Biden didn't visit for over a year. Oh, I can't get there. My schedule's too packed. Meanwhile, he's going to Europe. He's going to all these places. Scranton Joe, everyday working Joe, couldn't get to East Palestine, Ohio, a village of 4,700 people. Couldn't get an answer out of them on anything. Plane crash in Washington, D.C., boom. There's Sean Duffy. Boom. There's Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. Boom. There's Trump actually coming to the press room. How many times did Biden do that? Okay, so the transparency is amazing. And the transparency from Doge, they're updating like virtually every day what they're doing to cut costs. And what they're doing today is essentially telling federal workers who are part of the U.S. Agency for International Development, you'll hear it referred to as USAID, not to come to work today because they are looking at folding the entire organization. Folding the entire organization. Now, what would that mean? Well, it wouldn't mean that all the money that USAID distributes, the $53 million, for instance, that it used to fund EcoHealth Alliance, which funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan, China, That would probably go away. There are other things that would go away, but we wouldn't cut all of our foreign aid. And this is all part of, like last week, Trump tried to freeze federal spending. Oh, the Democrats went crazy. You can't do that. You can't cut it out. So, okay, well, and we'll just shut down USAID, which distributes federal spending. So the winning never stops. The transparency never stops. The following up on campaign promises, I know we're not used to it, but he's doing it, and it is a breath of fresh air. Elon Musk today had a Twitter space, which is like a live broadcast on Twitter, although it's on X because Twitter is now X. He said after looking at USAID, and if you missed this over the weekend, I can't keep up with all the things going on. Trump gave Musk and Doge access to a portal that tells how the money is being spent. And this was seen as, oh, you can't look at an administrative agency and see on the books exactly what they're spending and where they're spending it. Why not? Why not? It's part of the executive branch. Trump runs the executive branch. Why can't he clear the way for people who work for him to look at where the money is going? Just nuts, just crazy. And hopefully the Supreme Court will uphold this if in fact it gets there. But USAID distributes $38 billion, with a B, billion dollars a year in foreign assistance programs, supposed to be for disaster relief and health services. Here is Brian Mast, U.S. Congressman from Florida, who heads up the congressional committee that has oversight of USAID. There's Brian Mast on Sunday talking about some of the money that USAID disperses worldwide.
If you want to take a look at the State Department, where DEI has been a priority over, let's say, diplomacy in many accounts, $500,000 to expand atheism in Nepal, $50,000 to do, let's see, a transgender opera in Colombia, $47,000 to do an LGBTQ trans comic book in Peru, $20,000 a pop to do drag shows in Ecuador. Shall I continue with more examples?
No, I get the idea. It's all immoral. It's all stupid. It's all insane. Which is why Musk said today on his X broadcast, it became apparent that USAID is not an apple with a worm in it. What we have is just a ball of worms. You've got to basically get rid of the whole thing. It's beyond repair, so we're shutting it down. Oh, more winning, shutting it down. So this has been used, USAID and all these stupid initiatives, to A, fund wokeism around the world, and B, to enrich friends of the Democratic Party, non-governmental organizations, NGOs. For instance, the woke bishop from the Episcopal Church in Washington, D.C., over the weekend, we found out that the reason why she lectured Trump and J.D. Vance at what was supposed to be just a prayer service blessing the new administration, the reason she went after them from her bully pulpit is because her church got $53 million from USAID, supposedly for helping migrants, illegals, adapt to the United States. So she's doing that out of an agenda driven by the fact that she's getting rich, her church is getting rich off of this. You heard J.D. Vance rip some Catholic organization last week for doing the same kinds of thing. So Trump is taking an axe to all this.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Following a phone call with President Trump, Mexico's president says U.S. tariffs on her country, which were to take effect tomorrow, are being put on hold for 1 month. In the meantime, Mexico will send 10,000 troops to help secure the border with the U.S. President Trump acknowledges the tariffs aimed at cracking down on the flow of deadly drugs and illegal aliens could cause some pain for Americans who will have to pay more for some products. Crews working in the Potomac River started removing aircraft wreckage from last week's mid-air collision near Reagan National Airport, and so far,
The remains of 55 of the 67 people killed in the accident have been recovered. On Wall Street, the Dow and the other major indices trimming some of their losses now. The Dow is down. It's off 92 points. NASDAQ 226 points in the red. More details at srnnews.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher here. You know, I've been thinking, why does it feel like losing weight is harder than ever before? With mixed messages, fad diets, quick fix solutions, many are left feeling stuck and exhausted, trying to fight a battle they can't seem to win. If you felt this way, know that you're not alone. I used to be that way too. Let me tell you, it's not your fault. Your body's working against you. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. I called PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition 3 years ago. I lost 53 pounds, and I've kept it off. I feel great, and I love telling the world about PhD Weight Loss. If you're ready to make a change, make the phone call that can change your life the way it changed mine. 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900 to schedule your consultation. The first 11 callers who mention healthy will get 2 free weeks added to their weight loss package. Don't wait. Hit your 2025 weight loss goals now. Call 864-644-1900. Mention healthy for your bonus weeks or go to myphdweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.
Resist the Drift Marriage Conference is coming to Genoa Church on February 14th and 15th. Join Focus on the Family and 98.9 FM The Answer by registering today at resistthedrift.com. Become soulmates again. Sponsored by Relationships Under Construction and Adult and Teen Challenge, Ohio.
Regenerative treatments for joint pain are creating lots of excitement in the orthopedic community. QC Kinetics Medical Director Dr. Ray Tessner recalls a recent conversation with one of the country's most acclaimed orthopedic doctors.
He said, when you and I are young, the arthroscope was a quantum leap in treating orthopedic problems. I think regenerative medicine is the new arthroscope.
Surgery is no longer the go-to solution for chronic joint pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, or back. QC Kinetics is leading the next quantum leap. All natural regenerative treatments that provide relief and mobility.
I think one of the tenets of being a good physician is the old saying of do no harm. That's what I enjoy about this form of treatment is there's very little chance that we're going to cause harm. And that's refreshing to me to be able to eliminate the dangers that can come sometimes with surgeries.
Book your free consultation today in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. Or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Feel like you're trying to push a boulder uphill wearing skates? If you run or manage a local business today, you're challenged like never before. We get it, and we want to help. We're Salem Surround. We're a full-service marketing agency that'll help you increase your customer base by designing incredibly effective plans to reach your consumers day, night, and night weeks.
If you're a local business and want to see what Salem Surround can do for you, Google Salem Surround Columbus. Remember to Google Salem Surround Columbus today.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM. Anywhere you go, with the answers, mobile app, and 98.9 Smart speakers, tune in, or iHeart.
Don't look now. Actually, maybe you better look now at the calendar. It's February 3rd, which means the Resist the Drift Marriage Conference is 11 days away. And you said, oh, when I first heard about this in January, that's a great idea. I think I'm going to do that for my spouse. I'm going to book us into the Resist the Drift Marriage Conference presented by Focus on the Family and Salem Media at Genoa Church on February 14th, 15th. I'm going to do that because I got lots of time, right? Well, now you don't have lots of time. You still have enough time, but you don't have lots of time. So I would do it today. I would go to 989theanswer.com and I would book the Resist the Drift Marriage Conference at Genoa on February 14th and 15th. What is it? It's a way for you to reconnect with your spouse, to build your marriage back to what it was when you were starry-eyed and deeply in love with your spouse, and you were more soulmates than roommates. Dr. Greg and Aaron Smalley will help you get back to that. 4 impactful sessions and a conference workbook for the general admission ticket. A premium experience ticket gets you all that, plus a private Q&A, continental breakfast, and a gift. Book your tickets at 989theanswer.com. I can't keep up with all the winning. As Trump promised, there's going to be so much winning. We might get tired of winning. I'm definitely not tired of the winning, but I can't keep up with all of it because in addition to USAID workers being told not to come to work today because Elon Musk is going to take an axe to them funding things like, what was the one thing Brian Mass said? expand atheism in like some country we never heard of and no one would ever want to visit or live, and doing transgender theatrical productions and stuff like that. So that's a win, USAID. Getting the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum, to send 10,000 troops to the southern border to help stem the flow of fentanyl into the country, which kills about 75,000 Americans every single year. She did that today. That's why Trump's pausing the 25% tariff on Mexico for 30 days to see how that works out. He's got a phone call scheduled. He's already had one. He's got another one scheduled today with Justin Trudeau. Watch Canada fold like a cheap lawn chair, fold like a third world economy in the face of Trump tariffs. They spent the weekend. This is like the 5 stages of grief for Claudia Sheinbaum and for Justin Trudeau. First is denial. No, they're not going to do that. Then they are going to do it. Okay. Then I'm angry. And then you eventually reach, oh, I guess they're going to do it. So we better kowtow to what Donald Trump wants. And then we got the Panamanian president ending Belt and Road Initiative with China and saying they're going to audit the 2 Chinese firms. First, it was like, nah, Americans, they're not going to take back the Panama Canal. And then it's like, well, you know, they might. That guy's just crazy enough, he might. So that's the winning that I've talked about already. I never got to this. Saturday, Trump ordered military strikes that killed ISIS militants in Somalia. He just obliterated them in the caves in which they were. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth confirmed the strikes targeting Somali operatives in the Golis Mountains. And this occurs, it's not like we went in there and bogarted our way in there and just did it. The Somali government was in on it with us. So again, it's always a good day when there are dead terrorists. Now, we have wondered, have we not? Is the Democratic Party just going to take this butt kicking in the election? They're going to double down on the stupid ideology that caused them to get thoroughly embarrassed, lose all 7 swing states, lose the popular vote? Or are they going to say, you know, maybe we've swung too far left, and maybe we need to realize that less than 20% of Americans actually believe that a man can become a woman, or that a boy should be able to play girls' sports, or that we shouldn't drill for domestic energy, and our southern border should have a wall, not a revolving door. We wonder, right? Well, the vestiges of which direction the Democratic Party is going to head in the disastrous aftermath of running first Joe Biden and then Kamala Harris. The direction they're going to take would certainly take shape, would it not, when the Democratic National Committee meets to pick its new leaders. Those would be the people who would be charged with charting a new course for the party. So they did that over the weekend. And the new DNC chair is a guy named Ken Martin, who says the Democrats need to rebuild our coalition. Well, what is their coalition? Well, their coalition under Obama was a coalition they were never going to lose another election, right? They had African Americans, they had Hispanics, they had blue-collar people, and that was, with the amount of illegals coming into the country, going to make them bulletproof. They would never, they crowed after Obama won re-election. They're never going to lose another election. Never going to lose another presidential election. In fact, they've lost 2, both to Donald Trump. So certainly they're going to do a 180, right? Head the other direction. Well, I don't know. You be the judge. Here is how the Democratic National Committee called itself to order over the weekend. In English, please.
The Democratic National Committee wishes to acknowledge that we gather together to state our values on lands that have been stewarded through many centuries by the ancestors and the descendants of tribal nations who have been here since time immemorial.
They have, yes, I guess.
We honor the communities native to this continent and recognize that our country was built on indigenous lands and hope.
That's kind of a smattering of applause there. I think probably a lot of Democrats who would, you know, like to maybe win the presidential election or compete and not get thoroughly embarrassed, were like, are we really doing this again? We're doing the land acknowledgement? Okay. But wait, there's more. Then it was time for the candidates to get up and to make their pitch. Vote for me as the next Democratic National Committee chair. And they had an array of African-American women get up. And, you know, when an African-American woman gets up, well, you better pay very close attention.
I am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a Black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention like the 11 people who went before me. Yes, I am speaking.
Good evening, Democrats. Look up here. 3 strong Black women standing before you. 3 Black women who, rather than just grabbing a chair, ran for chair.
Te quiero mucho, papá. Gracias por todo. My name is Artie Blanco, Freddie Blanco's daughter. Vote for me for vice chair.
I don't know, Freddie.
We're at a time in this country when our democracy and our rights are under attack. We're at a time where Black and brown people, women, and other minorities are being blamed for everything that's wrong with this country.
Wait a minute. I thought I was reliably told by unimpeachable sources such as Joe Biden, Don Lemon, Joy Reid, and others that the number one threat to American democracy was white supremacy. Weren't we told that? White supremacy. Democratic National Committee has a different view. Here it is in case you missed it.
We're at a time where Black and brown people, women, and other minorities are being blamed for everything that's wrong with this country.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Although the Democrats think so, because remember when they convened and they had the 10 candidates on stage and they had Jonathan Capehart of the Washington Post up there moderating. And Jonathan Capehart said, how many of you up here think that Kamala Harris lost the election because of misogyny and racism? Jonathan Capehart, the woke nutcase who is so invested in his Democratic ideology that he angered perhaps the most patient conservative and biggest tolerator of Democratic nonsense with a conservative platform, Hugh Hewitt, to walk off a Zoom call with Jonathan Capehart and give up his beloved Washington Post column. That Jonathan Capehart and all the people on stage raised their hands. Yes, she lost because of misogyny and white supremacy. And Jonathan Capehart says, you all passed. Please, I beg you, please, stick with the intersectionality Olympics. I will award you all a gold medal in it. There'll be a first place tie between all of you, including the outgoing Democratic National Committee Chairman, Jamie Harrison, laying out just how the voting is going to work and how they are going to divvy up the candidates so that everyone is fairly represented.
Our rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced. At this point are currently 2 male and 2 female. In order to be gender balanced, we must have 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender.
So they acknowledge there are females. I guess Ketanji Brown Jackson wasn't there. The best tweet I saw over the weekend was from our Bruce Hooley Show favorite soundbite source, Louisiana Senator John Kennedy, who said in reaction to Donald Trump's ban on DEI that they, them is now was, were. Yes, they, them is now was, were. Hopefully the Democratic Party stays a was, were.
Clouds and breezy this afternoon. The high today at 62. Tonight with a low 32. A little bit cooler tomorrow. Sunny clouds, high 42. And then some sleet, freezing rain on Wednesday morning. Changing over to all rain for the afternoon. The high Wednesday at 36. Periods of heavy rain, a thunderstorm on Thursday morning. Clouds to give way to some sun for the afternoon. The high Thursday at 57. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Who are the people that serve part-time in the Ohio Army National Guard? We are your neighbors and friends. We are your sons and daughters. Our service is providing us valuable job skills, and it pays up to 100% of our tuition. We're proud to serve our state. We are your Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with the Ohio Army National Guard at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
We see it all the time when I visit college campuses. Young adults demonize the concept of free markets and think government is the solution to every problem. How do we change this? By teaching our kids the foundational principles to counter what they are taught in public school. Parents want to teach their children about liberty, limited government, and free markets, but often wonder, where do I start? That's where Tuttle Twins can help. They empower parents by providing quality resources that break down these ideas in a way children can understand. Take their book, The Tuttle Twins Learn About the Law. In this story, the twins learn about their rights, that true laws protect people, and that we should help others, and that stealing is always wrong. Children can only change the world for the better if they learn these important principles now. Go to TuttleTwins.com/Charlie today and purchase their 14-book children's series for your family. They'll learn to think for themselves, to stand for liberty. Go to TuttleTwins.com/Charlie today. TuttleTwins.com/Charlie.
Hi, it's Bruce Hooley with exciting news about the newest product from MyPillow. Now, for years, customers have been asking if MyPillow sells the cross necklaces like the one Mike Lindell proudly wears every day. So they're excited to announce that Mike has partnered with a jeweler right here in the USA to create a beautiful sterling silver cross. My Crosses. Yes, you can save 30% today by using my promo code Bruce at mypillow.com. Just click on the radio podcast square and use my promo code Bruce at mypillow.com to get this latest product, My Cross. You can choose from the men's or the women's style. The My Cross for women has a more delicate look and is reversible with mother of pearl styled translucent white enamel on one side and onyx styled black enamel on the other. The My Cross for men has a slightly larger cross with onyx-styled black enamel and a slightly longer, thicker chain. Now, this amazing offer won't last long, so order now at mypillow.com. Use my promo code Bruce, mypillow.com, promo code Bruce.
Hi, Mike Gallagher here, hoping you'll join me on the Patriots Alaska cruise this summer, a once-in-a-lifetime trip where patriotism and luxury meet. Picture this, you cruising through Alaska's stunning wilderness on a first-class luxury ship surrounded by breathtaking glaciers and majestic mountains. Joining us will be Larry Elder, Jennifer Horn, Joe Piscopo, but that's just the beginning. We sail August 16th through the 23rd to the last frontier. On board, you'll enjoy thought-provoking talks, exclusive events, and unforgettable memories with fellow patriots and conservative values. Text the keyword travel to 94878 to reserve your stateroom today. Text travel to 94878. This is more than just a cruise. It's a chance to engage with some of the most respected voices in conservative America. I'll take a little credit for that. I hope I'm in that category and explore one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth. Space is limited. Text travel to 94878. That's travel to 94878. I'll see you on board where patriotism, adventure, and luxury all come together.
If you're looking to remodel the flooring in your home, I hope you'll consider giving me an opportunity to help you with that project. I would love to. We have all the major name brands that you're looking at in big box stores. Anderson, Shaw, Dreamweaver, you name it, we have it. We also have the latest styles in luxury vinyl plank flooring. Now, don't get fooled by the word luxury. It's luxury in terms of how it looks and how it performs, but it's not luxury in terms of price, not compared to hardwood, which this is just a much better product. We don't carry hardwood anymore because nobody really needs it. I mean, why would you put a surface in your house that scratches and that if you need to refinish it, you get sand it down and get dust all over the place? It's just not functional. Luxury vinyl plank flooring is virtually indestructible, and it is super, almost no maintenance. So if you are looking to do a flooring project in your home, I'd love to help you with it. Go to brucehooley.com, click flooring, brucehooley.com, click flooring. You know, talking about flooring remodels and luxury vinyl plank flooring, I got to thinking over the weekend. We should give J.D. Vance a nickname. We should call J.D. Vance Swiffer. Swiffer. Just Swiffer Vance. Why Swiffer? Because he mops the floor with liberals when he goes on the Sunday news shows. J.D. Vance is phenomenal in an interview situation. He's really gifted, and he cuts right to the heart of the matters. Here he is talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion in the FAA and the difficulty that has wrought in our country.
We have a massive shortage of air traffic controllers. And in fact, there have been a number of lawsuits from people who would like to become air traffic controllers against the Obama and Biden administration, who have basically said, we were told not even to apply because of the color of our skin, because they were white people who wanted to be air traffic controllers. And under the DEI regime of the Biden administration, they weren't welcome.
J.D. Vance is quick on his feet, speaks the truth. It doesn't sound rehearsed. It's not a memorized talking point. He's easily identifiable, I think, with the common person. It's not a phony common man like Joe Biden. J.D. Vance, y'all know his life story, grew up in poverty. Here he is talking about his visit to East Palestine, Ohio today.
Matters a lot to me personally because my first month as a United States Senator, you had this terrible train disaster. I'll be going back a couple years later as the Vice President of the United States, really just to check in on how the cleanup is going. The big question that I had as a senator is people always ask, is the water clean to drink? Is the air clean to breathe? And luckily, we now have a great EPA administrator who I think can answer those questions and fix the problems on the ground.
I was talking about Lee Zeldin right there, the guy who ran for governor of New York. And New York would be way better off if Lee Zeldin was its governor instead of Kathy Hochul. So J.D. Vance in East Palestine, Ohio today. Back to the nutso Democratic National Committee elections over the weekend for a second. The new head of the DNC comes from the state of Minnesota. He was backed by Tim Walz. So that tells you all you need to know about Ken Martin, who will not, of course, steer the Democratic Party out of its wilderness of wokeism. Also, did you see who got the second in command position at the DNC? You might know this kid, David Hogg. David Hogg, the Parkland school shooting activist. The guy who has, well, let's see, let's total up all of David Hogg's crazy public positions. He has advocated on social media for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, commonly known as ICE, to be abolished. Abolish ICE. It seems like a little bit of an out of the mainstream viewpoint, given that Donald Trump reascended to the White House because of his pledge to deport illegal aliens. Defund the police, not the United States Postal Service. David Hogg also tweeted in the aftermath of the Parkland shooting. So he's for getting rid of ICE and getting rid of the police. Neither of which is even a minority position in the United States of America. He has, David Hogg, previously referred to the National Rifle Association as a terrorist organization. Now, look, you can have, you want to be a gun control advocate. That's fine. I disagree with you. The founders disagreed with you. That's why the Second Amendment is in the Constitution. But the histrionics of referring to the National Rifle Association as a terrorist organization, just ridiculous. This is a guy he's 24. His brain is not fully developed. His brain is not fully developed. And he is now taking a leadership position in the Democratic Party. So, of course, somewhere on his social media profile, there has to be an homage to climate change. Here is the operative tweet from David Hogg about climate change. Unlike COVID, there is no vaccine for climate change. Once we start feeling the impacts, we can just implement and survive. There is only one solution: prevention. Yeah, okay, sure, David. So he is exulting in his new position at the DNC. He says he is grateful, deeply grateful, to the members of the DNC for their trust and belief in me, and I don't take it lightly. Now it's time to get back to work. He says he promises a Democratic Party that is authentic, that would be a change, relatable, would also be a change, earns people's trust. Well, they don't have it now because polls over the weekend showed that trust in the Democratic Party is at 31%. And mistrust in the Democratic Party is at 57%. And then he said, we will also win again. He says, it's time we stop surrendering, go on offense and take the fight to Donald Trump and every single Republican who is gutting our rights, attacking workers, and rigging the system for the wealthy and well-connected. Yes, yes. All those Hispanics and all those African Americans who voted for Donald Trump, they are among the nation's elite, David Hogg. This is a guy who doesn't know really anything, and a guy who I am heartened to see is going to be making consequential decisions about political strategy for the Democratic Party because he is an idiot and because the Democratic Party is hopelessly lost, and people like this will not be able to steer it back on track, which is a relief to me because I do not want to see it come back on track. They have not learned their lesson. You saw that in the fact that 11 people on stage up for Democratic National Committee positions of power raised their hands saying Kamala Harris lost because of racism and misogyny. And misogyny is, of course, prejudice against women. She lost because she's Kamala Harris. She could have been white and blonde. She could have been the spitting image of Caroline Leavitt. She would have lost anyway because she's an empty-headed buffoon with no ideas and with positions that are all over the map, none of which she could explain or even attempted to explain until she was forced to explain them, and then she couldn't. So immerse yourself in the lie that she lost because of a flaw in other people who evaluated her. Just stick with that, please. Craziness. And you will reap what you sow if you continue to run people like her. And apparently, Kamala Harris's influence in the Democratic Party is still so significant that she played a key role in ordering the new leadership of that party. So good. Yes, the Democratic Party. The idiots are still in charge. Now, if you were in Upper Arlington this morning and you heard a loud explosion, so it felt like an earthquake or a sonic boom, you were not imagining it. There's a quarry in Upper Arlington located down there on, why am I blanking on the road? It's the road that goes out, Trayview. Loud boom sounded shortly before 9 a.m. Apparently there was some blasting going on at the rock quarry down there. So that is what you heard. In Zanesville, Muskingum County Jail, a guy escaped from the jail on Saturday morning. William Pletcher, 37. He has a full sleeve of tattoos on both of his arms. That really doesn't narrow it down much anymore. A lot of people have that. He had been held since Tuesday on charges including possession of drug abuse instruments, tampering with evidence.
Winter is here, and if your home's heating system is on its last leg, don't wait any longer to replace that tired old furnace. Get a brand new Goodman furnace from Temperature Pro for just $1,900 through the Discount Shopping Club. Regular price is $3,800. Temperature Pro is a leader in both commercial and residential HVAC systems. Now, this one's guaranteed to go quickly, so check out this great deal at 9890theanswer.com.
Your home is a big investment. If you live in a condominium or homeowners association, decisions by your board and community manager affect you. Is your board knowledgeable? Is your manager trained? Is your investment protected? CAI, Community Associations Institute, can give you the tools to protect your home and community. CAI is a nonprofit organization with resources for your board, community managers, and free information for homeowners like you. CAI at responsiblecommunities.com.
Find us at 9890theanswer.com. Download our apps and stream us 24/7. WTOH and WTOH HD1, Upper Arlington, Columbus.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum says after a conversation with President Trump that the planned tariffs are on hold for a month. Sheinbaum says on X, Mexico will reinforce the northern border with 10,000 members of the National Guard immediately to stop drug trafficking from Mexico to the United States, in particular fentanyl. The pause added to the drama as the president's tariffs against Canada and China, still slated to go into effect on Tuesday, Meanwhile, more reaction to President Trump's tariffs from our neighbor to the north.
The leader of Canada's most populous province, Ontario, says he's ripping up a $68 million contract with Elon Musk's Starlink internet service in response to the tariffs. Premier Doug Ford is also banning American firms from provincial contracts, along with Canada, China, and Mexico vowing retaliation as well.
That's correspondent Rich Thomason reporting. Also at townhall.com, House Republican leaders want committees to land deeper spending cuts in their party line bill to enact President Trump's domestic agenda. More on this from correspondent Bernie Bennett.
Key hardliners and others on the Budget Committee are pushing to outline at least $1 trillion in spending cuts in the blueprint that the committee is supposed to debate this week. Last week, those panel members told senior Republicans they would not vote for a draft budget blueprint like what Johnson and committee chairs outlined during a closed-door meeting at the House GOP retreat in Florida. That initial blueprint included more than $300 billion in spending cuts, but added $325 billion in new spending for defense, border security, and deportation operations. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
Wall Street is lower, still nervous about a potential trade war due to the new tariffs. The Dow dropping 122 points, the NASDAQ off 234. More at townhall.com.
Clouds and breezy this afternoon. The high today at 62. Cloudy tonight with a low 32. A little bit cooler tomorrow. Sunny clouds, high 42. And then some sleet, freezing rain on Wednesday morning. Changing over to all rain for the afternoon. The high Wednesday at 36. Periods of heavy rain. A thunderstorm on Thursday morning. Clouds to give way to some sun for the afternoon. High Thursday at 57. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Resist the drift. If you're married, you got to know these 3 words. Let's be honest, every couple experiences the feeling of drifting apart. You get lost in your phone, your career path, or whatever else fills your time, and pretty soon you're more like roommates than soulmates. Resist the Drift Marriage Conference is a fun, heartfelt event presented by Focus on the Family and 98.9 FM The Answer, and it's coming to Genoa Church on February 13 to 15. Register now at resistthedrift.com. Sponsored by Relationships Under Construction and Adult and Teen Challenge Ohio.
With SRN Sports, I'm George Williams. On the NHL ice last night, Alex DeBrincat for Detroit scored his second goal of the night with 4:18 into overtime as the Red Wings edged the Canucks 3-2. In other games, the Flames defeated the Kraken 3-2. Blues over Utah 2-1. Stars beat the Blue Jackets 5-3. The Rangers over the Golden Knights 4-2. Panthers beat the Islanders 6-3. By a 3-2 margin, the Ducks over the Canadiens. Avalanche shut the Flyers out 2-0. And the Sabres over the Devils 4-3. A light night in the NBA with the Grizzlies beating the Bucks 132-119. Pistons over the Bulls. Cavaliers rout the Mavericks. Raptors over the Clippers. It was the Celtics defeating the 76ers. In the NBA, Luka Doncic traded by the reigning Western Conference champion Dallas Mavericks to the LA Lakers for Anthony Davis. And in NCAA basketball, 3 games, Nebraska upset Oregon, Illinois beat Ohio State, Memphis beats Rice. This is SRN Sports. In pro golf, Rory McIlroy wins the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am by 2 shots over Shane Lowry on the strength of a closing round 66. It's his 27th career PGA victory. NASCAR returning to its roots for a preseason exhibition at Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Chase Elliott winning the Clash last night. And it's Super Bowl week for the NFL. Media Day is today. It's evolved from a daytime event on Tuesdays to a true, what you'd call a media circus. Prime time on national television. Last year, more than 6,000 media from 26 countries. City of New Orleans hosting its 11th game. The first time was actually...
Sorry, I forgot to end the live stream, so we'll have to do that now, and we will talk to you again tomorrow. I really appreciate you guys watching.
Before the leagues combined this year, the Chiefs are trying to become the first.
We do it for an hour, and I'm out of memory on the streaming platform, so I'll rejuvenate that and be back tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Thanks. Hope you all have a great day.
This public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley.